Hello and welcome to my Marsinger UK Series 7 Episode 3 recap and review. My name is Marsinger Homie, content creator and the host of Marsinger Homie's Recap and Review podcast, where I talk about TV, music, celebrities, and so much more. If you're listening on Spotify for the first time, please consider downloading this episode, following the podcast, as well as turning on the notification bell so you don't miss anything else when a new episode drops. Or if you're watching this on my YouTube channel as a video, please go over there and subscribe, turn on the notifications, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything when a new video is uploaded to my YouTube channel. And remember, you can always follow me on my social media platforms, which is my Instagram at MarsingerHomie and my YouTube channel, which is, of course, MarsingerHomie, which are all linked above in the thumbnail of this podcast if you're listening on Spotify. So I just want to say I do apologise for this being a bit later than usual, because I was supposed to do this tomorrow, but now at the time of doing this episode, it's actually Saturday, which is episode 4 of the Marsinger UK. Actually, because I wasn't able to do it yesterday because I was very busy. But I'm okay now. But I'm totally fine. Don't worry about me. I'm absolutely fine. And yeah, we'll just leave this at a little delay, and hopefully next time we'll be back on track with the schedule. And I was supposed to do the American one as well, but I'll be doing that probably tomorrow or later today, depending on what is going on. But honestly, guys, not to worry, I'm absolutely fine. So it was the Marsinger UK Sports Day special last week, which I absolutely loved. We saw Group B perform again for the second time, and we had Freddie Flintoff on the panel, which was awesome. I really like Freddie Flintoff. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of. I mean, I don't really watch sports, so I don't really. I mean, I know who he is, but I actually quite like him as well. I think he's good what he does, and yeah, I don't mind. Honestly, he was great to have on the panel. I really enjoyed him, and he got one of the contestants that was eliminated this week, and as a guest judge, which was pretty cool. And I have to say, when I listened to this person sing again in the bottom two, it was almost a dead giveaway who this was. But we'll talk about that a bit later on in the review. So without any further ado, let's kick off the episode. Kicking off, we have Monkey Business, who performed "Strong Enough" by Cher, and I have to say, the moment she started to do that kind of like slower like rendition, I was like, okay, we're definitely hearing her real voice here. And then once she started getting to the more up tempo stuff, it was really good as well. For me, she really leveled up from her first performance, if I'm honest with you. And to be honest with you, I was actually quite shocked that she ended up in the bottom two, because I thought she really like stepped up her game from the first time round. So yeah, it was a pretty shocking. It was quite shocking to see her in the bottom two, to be honest. But nonetheless, it was still awesome to see her really level up this week, and I cannot wait to what she does in the merge, because when I did my when we did our live stream Dream Team review with me, Bonkers, and Ed, he mentioned that both Tom and Ed mentioned that Monkey Business really ups her game. So I'm very excited to see how well she does once we get to see her next week. So the guess I have for Kate for Monkey Business, I'm sticking with my guess that I've been saying with the Dream Team for the past week or so, and I'm sticking with Kate Nash on this one. And again, I know there's some other good guesses out there. I am very aware of that, but let's go through some of the clues I have here, which could lead to her. So she mentioned about washout, and that could be reference to her song mouthwash. That could be a bit of a red herring there. We saw these shirts with the cats on it, and she absolutely loves cats, and she has adopted them in the past. But also, she had a tour in 2012 called Faster Pussycat Run Run, which was one of her tours. The red pen, that could be a possible reference to her song Little Red. Again, could be a bit of a red herring there. And then we had she's mentioned Legal on Standby. Now that made me think of Legally Blonde. Now, has she been on Legally Blonde? I need to double check quickly just to make sure. Has Kate Nash been in Legally Blonde? I don't know if she has. I tried to. Has she not? No, she's not been in Legally Blonde. Okay, so let's make sure, because that made me think of Legally Blonde the first time I saw that. But going back to the Legal on Standby, she actually had legal battles with her former manager, believe it or not. So, and then Mr. Horn mentioned in the in the called the Two Lies and the Truth. She has used horns in her music videos, which is very interesting. Again, could be an incorrect one there. Now, the Lewis Hamilton clue that really threw me off. It took me a little while to figure out all that, but she sang the national anthem at the 2021 British Grand Prix. She sang the national anthem there, so that is a very clever clue. Because I was trying to think to myself, has Kate Nash or Lewis Hamilton done any collabs together? But no, they haven't. But that's what came with her. She did the national anthem. So yeah, so I'm sick with my guess for Kate Nash here, and honestly, I'm very glad that she's in the merge episode. I think she's definitely starting to come out of her shell a bit more, and once we get to the merge episode next week, I have a feeling she's going to really showcase her true voice, which I cannot wait to see. I think she's going to really, really showcase it, and I can't wait to see what she does. Next up, we had Toasty, who performed "Run to You" by Whitney Houston. I almost said Leona Lewis there for a minute. I was thinking a Run, but she sang Whitney Houston's "Run to You," which, by the way, it's an absolutely amazing song, and my goodness me, she absolutely knocked it out of the park. It was just so refreshing to see her do a ballad this, because she showed that she had a great voice, but this just took it to another level. I mean, it was just unbelievable, watching this performance. And I have to say, the song she did here, "Run to You," this is actually the song I seriously wish JoJo sang as Black Swan. And the reason being is because not only she did How Will I Know, which is a Whitney Houston song during season 5, but there's actually a video of her doing "Run to You" when she took part in Elle Magazine's Song Association video. That's a bit hard to say all the time, but she took part in Elle Magazine's Song Association video. JoJo did, and she actually sang a bit of "Run to You," and it is just amazing. And just even watching this performance back, I was literally thinking to myself, "Oh, I just wish JoJo did this song, because it would have fitted her voice amazingly." Like, I would include a clip, but but maybe I will sometime. But honestly, she absolutely just honestly, this just made me think of that, and I just wish he would have done this song. I wouldn't. I wish I could insert a clip here for you guys, but I probably won't. But oh my god, it would have just been amazing. But anyways, back to this performance. This for me was the best performance of the night, and we really got to hear it was just such a soulful voice. That she the amount of soul that she had in that voice was just incredible. It was just amazing, and again, the best performance of the night. And honestly, I think she is now just solidified herself to be one of the favourites to go all the way and potentially win. Like, can you imagine a Toasty winning the show with that good of a voice? Like, it's just amazing, absolutely fantastic. So, the guest I now have for Toasty, I am still confident on this guest from last time, and I'm convinced this is still the incredible Brenda Edwards. And I'm still very confident on my guest here. So let's go through this week's clues. She mentioned that we were still a Broadway off, and that is a link to her being on Broadway. We saw the takeaway badges of Vernon Kay, Peter Kay, and there was someone else I can't remember. Now all three of them are from Bolton, and Brenda's son Jamal Edwards was the chairman of Bolton FC. So that is a very cryptic clue there. She mentioned about Blackpool, or we saw the Blackpool Tower, and she was in a musical tour of Chicago, which started out in Blackpool, and that was where she got her big stage debut. Also, Sunshine was mentioned, which is a character from Chicago, she appeared on Chicago. She mentioned about typecast, and although more subjective than an actual fact, she is often typecast in musicals. She then mentioned royalty. She has appeared at the Royal Variety performance, and most recently for the Paddington musical, which happened not too long ago. And the year 8 clue mentioned about the three-legged, like the walking. That I think is a reference to her long walks to raise money for charity after her son passed away. So, very good on her for doing that. But those were the clues I got there, and again, I am very confident it is the incredible Brenda Edwards. And honestly, I'm so glad that she's finally doing the show, because I think the last time I remember her was when she was on the X Factor all those years ago. Like that was back in the year Shane Warne won. So the fact that she's now on the show is just, it's just incredible. It really is. And just what a voice she has. What an absolutely incredible voice she has. It just yeah, and again, I think I honestly think she could go all the way at this rate. Like, she's just amazing, and I hope she does that too. She's just incredible. Now we go on to Yak, who was the person eliminated this week. He did Physical by Olivia Newton-John, which, by the way, you know, it wasn't great. And then in the sing off, he did That's Amore by Dean Martin. And the moment it started, I was just like, oh no! Like, when I found out he was doing the song, I was like, "There's no way he's gonna do this song," and he ruined it. And you could just, and even hearing the voice this time around, I was just like convinced I knew who it was already, because I was originally thinking, Reed Shearsmith, but um, then when Freddie Flintoff said this name, I was like, oh, it could be. Then the sing off, it instantly got to me, and it was none other than John Lydon from the Sex Pistols, aka Jester from season 6 of the US. It's Freddie go right, Jonathan go right, and I eventually got it right in the end. And honestly, to see Johnny, like, he was probably the person I was least expecting to do the show in many years, because I've always loved John Lydon. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of the Sex Pistols, but I do, I like him as a person. I think he's very funny what he does, and just while I liked him when he was in America, he did it. He did it for his wife, who was battling Alzheimer's and dementia at the time. So that was really nice of him to do it for her. And honestly, you could tell he was having the best time up there. He was, and even in his unmasked performance, he had the lyrics out from the he's reading the lyrics. So that was really funny. So again, okay, John does not care, as long all he's doing is he's having fun, and that's all that matters on the show. And honestly, just yeah, that's all I can say, because he really is a class person. I really liked him. He was just such a joy to watch on the show. And even though he wasn't great, and and also because I have to say, because when he was on America, when he did Schools Out by Alice Cooper, that was actually really good, because that's his rocker voice. But those performances were just not great. But I have to say, I gotta give him some credit for doing what he did. He had fun, and that's what that matters. So good on you, John Lydon. Thank you for coming back on The Masked Singer for a reappearance. It was very awesome with you. So good on you. Well done. Now we go on to Arctic Fox, who performed Gold by Spandau Ballet. And I have to say, listen to this performance. He actually sounded like Tony Hadley watching the performance. And I was quite worried for him to see if Anton was going to nail it, because I pretty know who this is now. I was quite worried because how he would do, but he absolutely nailed it. It was absolutely fantastic, and it sounded like I was listening to the original. And of course, Spandau Ballet is a fantastic band. Gold is a brilliant song. And of course, Tony Hadley is a fantastic singer. And yeah, and he absolutely nailed his performance. It was fantastic. So, what else is there to say about the guest? Because we all know who this is right now. It's 100% Anton Dubek. And of course, we'll go through the clues as always, because he mentioned that he's likely to give you the cold shoulder, and he infamously broke Anik Rice's shoulder by accident during a rehearsal for Strictly, and she had to leave the competition due to it. So, ouch. We saw the visual clues of the books there, and he's obviously an author. He has his own book out. He mentioned that he's got a fighting chance, and the gloves are off. He had a passion for boxing when he was a teenager, and surviving everything, all the seasons. He is the only pro dancer to be on every single series of Strictly, because he was on the series as a professional dancer from the beginning till 2020, and of course he was a guest judge for a bit on 2020. Then he became a full-time judge on the panel in 2021. Very obvious there. And there was a dinner lady clue as well, because I believe he was in a show. I think I'll have to check that out. I didn't write that down here, but all I can say is this is 100% Anton Dubek, no questions asked. And honestly, I'm so glad he did the show. I'm so glad that he's on the show because I've always wanted Anton to do the show for so long. And yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy he's here. I'm so happy he's here. That's what I have to say. So yeah, 100% Anton. And honestly, I would love to see him win. I would love to see Anton grab the win because he is just so ridiculously talented. He's just so good. Yeah, I'm very much hoping that he does win. Yeah, he's so good. That's what I'm saying. He's so good. And now we go on to the final performance of the night, and probably the most unexpected song choice, and that was Conker's when he did "Jump Around." Of course, and I have to say, when he did this song, I was like shocked. So I was like, no way he's doing this song because, and I must admit, while he did try his best, I must admit it wasn't his best performance. I think that sometimes the rapping was on, sometimes it was a bit off. So it wasn't a perfect performance by any means, but he really made up for it with the entertainment value, and he definitely did that in abundance. So it was actually a pretty good performance as well. So I have to give him credit to that. But I was a little bit shocked he wasn't in the bottom two, to be honest, just because I thought Monkey Business was better. No offense, but yeah. But anyway, so the guest I have for Conkers now. This is a different guest here now because I was originally thinking Mark Owen the first time round. Then once hearing this performance, it completely went out the window, to be honest. So I have a new guest here, and that is Matthew Bainton from Horrible Histories. So here I have some of the clues from last week as well as this week to go over that could lead to him. So of course, as you can see, the Conkers is wearing like a night outfit, and that of course he rose to fame in Horrible Histories, where he does the famous Charles II rap. We then saw Then he mentioned about a comprehensive guide to taking on many foes. That I think is a reference to his role as Elliot Ward in the 2024 BBC series A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Then we saw Sam's Tavern Songs. The name Sam is a link to the character he played in The Wrong Man's with James Corden called Sam Pinkett. That's his name. The Swimming Shorts. Now, this I was originally thinking Tom Daly, but that would be way too obvious of a clue to throw in. But he was on Taskmaster, where he once wore a long distance running outfit with red shorts. So that's a interesting there clue. We then saw Abs from Five, and that is a nod to the Horrible History song "Born to Rule," where they had the Georges there. George the Fifth, I think there was that. I'm terrible at Roman numerals, so my apologies on that. But he played King George IV, where they did a parody boy band similar to the band Five. So if you've not seen that, and you got to check it out. It's in the Horrible Histories show, which by the way, I love Horrible Histories. It's such a great show. He then mentioned Ghosts Don't Scare Me, and he is the co-creator of the writer of the BBC sitcom Ghosts. And the campfire, he was on Taskmaster, where he took part in a camping task. So, I mean, I don't really watch Taskmaster that much, but I should definitely more often. So those were some of the clues I managed to pick up on. In the Lego Club as well, he voiced a character in Bob the Builder, I believe. But overall, I am starting to think this could be Matthew Baton, and I would love it was and also the rapping as well, because I know he does the rapping for Charles II in Horrible Histories. Honestly, I love Horrible Histories. I haven't seen it in ages though, but I think it's such a great show. It's such a good show. I highly recommend you checking it out. But I am hoping that Conkers can maybe level up a little bit more, because I think he has got a bit more to give. So I have my fingers crossed that we get to see him rise more to the occasion once we do eventually, hopefully, see him next time round, obviously. So there you have it. That is my review for episode 3 of The Masked Singer UK. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Once again, I do apologise for this being a little bit later than usual, but hopefully next time, this upcoming week, hopefully Sunday, we'll be back on track with the on the road with these guesses and reviews. And I have to do my American one as well, almost straight afterwards. So be prepared for that very soon, for those 2 episodes on the podcast and channel. But once again, thank you so much for listening to this episode of my review of the Masked Singer UK Series 7 Sports Day Special. Again, let me know your guesses in the comments below of both the platforms you're listening to And make sure to follow the podcast, download the episode, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss anything when a new episode drops. Once again, thank you so much for listening to this episode reviewing The Masked Singer UK Series 7. And of course, I will see you guys next time.